Welcome back. Good morning, YouTube. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Got a little snowstorm out here where I'm from in the desert. Today, I'll be doing a height adjustment on my KW coilovers. Kind of give you guys the rundown on how to raise the car height. Now, last night I did adjust the rears. If you guys have been following the channel for a while, you probably know why I'm raising the car up, and that's because we got some adapters coming in. I'm tired of this weather, my lord. Anyways, guys, a couple of things I wanted to go over with you guys. Head over to the website, www.carcultured.com. Right now we're running a sale for M3 and M4 parts. Currently, if you buy a part, an M3 or an M4, you'll get 10% off your purchase order when you buy 2 parts. So head over to the store, take a look around, see if there's anything that you guys need. Anyways, let's get back to the driving. Guys, I mean, I think this winter weather has been hitting the whole country. I don't know, I'm sick of this weather, but need you all to stay safe. It's very vital when there's weather like this, guys, that you're driving low speed, you're paying attention. Just keep an eye out for what's going on. I am on summer tires, so I am going a little bit under the speed limit, but I'll continue the video when I get home. Wish me luck. I'm gonna try to get up this driveway. We'll see how that goes. What's going on, guys? We flash forward. It's the next day. Yesterday was that snowstorm. There was not a chance I was making it up this driveway. What I eventually ended up doing was just parking at one of our local hospitals until the snow melted, which you guys can see it already did. But let's go ahead and jack up the car real quick, and let me show you guys how to adjust the ride height on some KW coilovers. Not too complicated. Just to let you guys know, today I'm only going to do the front sides just because I did the rears earlier already. So I already raised them up a little bit. Again, we're doing this in preparation of adding these new wheels right here. My car is rear-wheel drive only, so it's not gonna affect or throw any codes. I know some guys with the X-Drive G80s or G82s, if you throw in a tire that's too big in the rear and too small in the front, the car will throw a code. But since this is rear wheel drive only, I should be okay with 305s in the back and the 275s in the front. Without further ado, let's do it. First things first, guys, anytime I do work, call me a wimp, call me a wuss, whatever, I like to put on my gloves. It just keeps the hands safe, and it prevents you from getting all kinds of chemicals that cause cancer and whatnot. Yes, I know, cancer is literally everywhere, but with microplastics and whatnot, but whatever. I'd rather avoid it as much as possible. First things first, guys, you want to make sure you get yourself a nice jack and some jack stands when you're doing this. I go with the Harbor Freight specials. Make sure you're going with low profile anytime you guys are going with a lowered car such as this. It just helps out so much more. If you get a normal jack or a jack stand, it's not going to fit underneath the car. Another thing to keep in mind that you want to check for is you want to get some of these pucks. Now, BMWs, you can lift them without the puck, but I like to lift them the way the manufacturer suggests. I got one of these jack pads that you basically are going to put onto this guy and raise it. There's a little slot underneath the car. Let me see if I can get to it from here. Right there. I don't know. See if I can get my hand underneath it. I'm filming this in an awkward position, but right there. See how that fits in there? That's a good lifting point. One of these jack stands I got off of Amazon. I'll put it in the link in the description below, but it'll help you raise that car up. All right, boys, so let's go ahead and do this. Remember, I'm gonna put this jack pad on that slot so we can go ahead and jack the car up. It takes a little bit of a messing around with. Let's see if I can get to it. Hopefully I gave you guys a good little angle to do this on, or with, I should say. And once I get it lined up, then I'll loosen the lug bolts. Let me just go ahead and get this lined up real quick. Oh, okay. What I like to sometimes do is just hold it, honestly. There we go. There we go. Cool. Now that it's lined up, I'm not going to take it off quite yet. Before I do anything, I'm going to use my scratch-free sockets. The standard lug bolt, remember these are lug bolts on BMW, is a 17 millimeter. So I'm just going to take them off, and then I'll use my torque wrench to unscrew them pretty quickly. But yeah, again, if you guys ever want a copy of these or your own set, links are in the description for you to purchase. So follow up with that. All right, boys, what I'm going to do first, I know it's not the optimal tool set. It's a little swivel socket, but I'm just gonna use this real quick to break the lug bolts down. Now, guys, I'm doing it the getaway. I'm doing it the cheap way. There we go. There we go. There we go. Oh, that one's on good. There we go. There we go. Now that those are loosened up, let's go ahead and jack up the car. Again, please do this with the right tools. Make sure you have some jack stands to support. Again, my favorite part. Let's go. Always go with Milwaukee. Always. I'm a Milwaukee boy. All right. I always kind of just leave that top bolt there real quick because this is a hub-centric wheel. It's how it attaches. As soon as you take this guy off, it's going to get really flimsy, but it shouldn't come right off. You should be okay. Put these guys where you won't lose them, and then just take the wheel off, really. Let's get this guy out of the way. Look at all that dirt and grime from driving in the snow yesterday and all that brake dust. I'll be taking care of that pretty soon since I already have the wheel off. Might as well clean it a little bit. When you're adjusting the coilovers, you see this little, I don't know what this bolt is called really, but you're gonna be given this in your box. Now I know it says rebound, but this doesn't really adjust the rebound. The only way to adjust the rebound on these shocks, because remember, this is the stock BMW shock. I just have I think it's the V3s. If you get the V4s and whatnot, the way you'd adjust the rebound is up here from the top. All this does is just prevent this from moving while you're driving. It's just a little bolt. It's not really gonna do much, but we need to remove this off before we adjust the coilovers. So let's go ahead and do that. And literally just twist it until it comes off. Loosen it up. There you go. That's that little guy that prevents that or locks that in from spinning. You're gonna take that guy off. Essentially, you're gonna line up your tool and then you just give it a twist. Now, because I wanna raise this up, I'm gonna turn it to the right. Or basically, if you're ever lost and confused on which direction you need to move it, just look at the spindles. Obviously, if it's climbing up, you're moving it the right way. If it's going down, you're moving it the wrong way. And then we're gonna measure it. I like to use the measuring tool on the iPhone, but you can use whatever to measure it. Measuring tape. The best way to measure it, in my experience, is millimeters, but you want to use it by inches, dude, it's fine. Not gonna ruin it. Oh God, I really gotta clean all that. Look at all those rocks in there. God, I'm so mad at myself, but it's like, so when we're measuring, you want to measure from this collar down to right here. That's going to give you a rough estimate. Again, it doesn't need to be super precise. We're going to play around with it, but that's generally what we're looking to measure. Oops, didn't mean to hit the camera. Let's see if I can get a little close. That looks to be literally right about an inch. I think I'll raise it a little bit higher and then we'll go from there. And I hate when I watch tutorials on YouTube and they don't give me like the whole picture of what I'm looking at. So this is the whole area. This is what we're looking at. This is what it looks like inside. That's what we're adjusting. We're just raising up that collar. So I'm gonna raise it a little bit more just because I don't wanna have to keep fiddling with it, or fiddling, is that even a word? Messing with it. Go one more rotation. Don't worry about ruining your purple collar. You can get a replacement collar. It's not the end of the world. And remember, you want this hole facing towards you. Per the manual, they say you want the lettering of the spring to be facing you. I'm gonna take another measurement and see what we're at now. We're about an 1/16", I wanna say, which is pretty good. I'm gonna take a quick picture on the phone as well. That should give us enough clearance for that wheel that's gonna be coming on here. Now again, I can't necessarily fit it on because the bore size of that wheel is different than the bore right here. That's where the adapter is gonna come in. The bore, or the adapters I should say, I'm sorry. The adapters, these are called lug bolts, are gonna adapt to right here. We're gonna screw them in. It's gonna have the bore size of this right here, and then it's gonna have the bore size to fit those wheels on. That's why we're doing this. Let's go ahead and put the wheel back on, and then we'll go from there. So again, since this is a hub-centric wheel, the easiest way I find to do this is to use an old pair of shoes. In this case, I'm gonna use my socks. to kind of mount the wheel to the hub. So I'm gonna hold it in place real quick. I'm gonna grab my socket. I'm gonna put the lug bolt in the socket like so. Use that to kind of hand tighten it for now before I kind of torque it down. The torque wrench, there we go. And make sure it fits flat on the surface. It should be sitting pretty flush and flat. You don't want any bumps or anything. And let's see, wheel to align. That'd be nice. Don't freak out, guys. The brakes are on. They're locked in the rear. Okay, once you got that lined up, and tighten those bad boys. You got the first one on. Pretty simple to get the rest back on. There we go. Usually you want to follow a star pattern, so I should go get all these guys on. And I'm excited for those adapters to come in. Be giving a big shout out to all the people that helped me with that, so stay tuned for that video. And we'll actually see what the car looks like here pretty soon. So we'll use the impact wrench real quick. Just torque these down real quick. Nothing crazy. There we go. And then, like I said, guys, normally you want to use a hand wrench or a torque wrench with this. So just keep that in mind. But that's how you, essentially, that's literally it. That's how you adjust your KW coilovers. To do this a little bit wrong, it frustrates me. When you're lowering the car, please just twist slow. Very slow. You don't want to spook the car or anything. Literally, that's it. That's how you should lower that. I'm just gonna hand tighten these guys just a little bit. I don't want them to come off on me. Should be okay though. There we go. Remember, you can definitely over torque these. Just always make sure you give them a nice little snug tighten. Check out that gap. So now we got a nice little gap in the front driver's side. About 3-finger gap for me right there. Definitely changes the look of the car. Headlighting, we kind of compare it to over here on this side. Yeah, where this is not necessarily that 3-finger gap. So I'll go ahead and raise this side next. Like I said, guys, that's the typical straightforward process on how to adjust these KW coilovers. Nothing too crazy. Now, like I had mentioned before, the rears are a little bit different. Whenever you try to spin the collar on the rears, the top collar will spin with the whole unit. What a lot of guys do for a workaround is we use another jack stand and we put an extension piece that goes up and presses up against the collar from underneath the spring. That gives enough pressure to spin that purple collar. Stay tuned, guys, for the next video. Again, we'll be getting those wheel adapters in pretty soon, so I'll be able to put the new rims and tires on it. It'll be a surprise. So let's get you to it, and we'll catch you on the next one.